We outside, we outside. Yo, 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 what's up, what's up? We're gonna do tough and easy. Easy and tough. Which one are you gonna do first? So we have bearings here. We have bearings here in Cohen Springer. We just Maths team assemble. Add Maths Loki helping me pass Maths. Big people, big ups. Big people business start right now. So only press like, send the notice out, send all the troops. Only have turn off that show. Stop watching that series. You're supposed to have watched solo leveling long time. You know, trying to catch up on solo leveling. Hurry up, let me go. We're going to start just now, right? Only have, whoo, I'm tired. Last night I went to sleep like 3. And then I wake up like 6. And then I didn't sleep since then. And then I went and play football just now with some fellas. And now run back home here to come and do this live. But which one are you want to do first? I'll tell me which one are you want to do first. You want to do the bearings first or you want to do the easy thing first? Where's the easy thing? I'm a calculator. Calculator, shake up, wake up. I might do the easy thing, but I set it out somewhere here before the stream. Where you going, boy? Hey, I forgot to go live on TikTok. TikTok must be one. I know going on the people who dedicated to the TikTok stream. People saying bearings first. So bearings looking like it might be first. I wanted to pick the easy thing first. The easy thing. So the easy thing is directed numbers. We just go through a little directed numbers. Crash course kind of thing here. Beginner thing. Or I want to get the bearings out of the way and then run through some easy thing. All you're feeling for? I'm still trying to go live on directed numbers and bearings. A tiny way you can make people vote here, boy. Hard first, then easy. Bearings here, bearings. All you really want to get bearings out. It look like people want to get bearings out of the way first. Just get bearings out of the way. So there you go, bearings, right? So this is June 2024. We're starting off with this. Let's start to cook. Calculate the length QR. So I was trying to build out something for bearings, but oh my gosh, remember I tell you I didn't have enough time. But some masterpieces coming up, boy. Some masterpieces. When I tell you there are some masterpieces coming up, boy. That's not where this. Right. So pretty soon this will be on the website too. Hopefully in the next week or two when I update my website. And you all will be able to, learn from this and go through bearings again. Revise your bearings, bring your name day, Cohen Springer. No, sorry. Springzilla. And then you could go and learn all about bearings. But I didn't make it yet. I like to do my thing perfect now, guys. So we can't go through this one. Maybe we swing back for this next time. Will you remind me, right? What is a bearing? And here you see we could set Kingston and Georgetown. And next up, I tell you this year you're getting it wet. And then you could find the bearing. So like I showing you how bearings is work now. You understand how bearings is work? Peak. Very peak. Very peak. They're very peak. I tell you, if I had this, I'd have hit the merit list. For sure. Angle rules. So there's this thing called back bearings that you could learn about. But if you know co-interior, you kind of know back bearings. Meaning the bearing of B. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. We now starting up, right? The bearing of B from A. The bearing of B from A. Listen to what I just say. Listen. The bearing of B from A. If I say I go into Port of Spain from Arima, where am I? Which one do you think is the bearing of B from A? What is the answer for that? What is the answer for the bearing of B from A? Which one is it? D60 or D240? It's clearly D60, right? From A. So that is 60. Now how you get the 240? Well, this is the back. This is what they call the back bearing or comeback bearing. So this would be 180 plus the 60. So that's a shortcut way to work it out. But what we normally do, what we learn in class is that we learn the co-interior. The co-interior is one of the strongest things you can learn. Co-interior angles. So let me go and talk about co-interior angles. Let's go and talk about that. Where's my board? Just now I'm gonna move you so I could always get you back if I were you. Bang. So let's go and do a little segue and talk about some of the things you need to understand to get on top of bearings. So you need to know the word to and from. How many of you all hear this lesson from me already? You need to know the word to versus from. I just show you that, right? Because it's two different things. Assuming that you know north, west, and east spell, we north, south, right? You need to know the difference between to from. So if I have P and Q and I ask you, okay, I said this is 120, and I ask you what is the bearing of P from Q, or I ask you what is the bearing of Q from P. That's two different questions, two different answers. Bearings equal the knowing of prepositions. Very good. So a lot of people actually lose their marbles, they lose their points by just not understanding the preposition. They didn't understand the preposition properly. So two different answers. The bearing, what is the bearing of P from Q, class? What is the bearing of P from Q? That's this. So when you're reading a bearing, listen to me, listen, lock in everybody. You have the north. I didn't tell you to go anywhere north. We have the north, and you need to start on the north and go clockwise. That's the bearing. Until you meet the line that connects the two tongues, two ports, to anything. So the bearing of P from Q is 120. From Q, meaning at the point of Q. Cooking. If I ask you what is the bearing of Q from P, you have to figure out the back bearing, what they call sometimes the back bearing. So the way that I'm teaching you to figure this out is to know that co-interior angles. Co-interior angles is the strongest angle pair that you need to know about in bearings. Co-interior angles, remember we was doing that yesterday? They are supplementary. So 120, that means you must be 60. You must be 60 because we talked about that. That was the identity that the knots form parallel lines. The knot forms parallel lines, so you get the same corresponding alternate co-interior. We locked in? Rate out of 10, how much y'all understand in the lesson so far? So these are the important little fundamental steps to getting it right in bearings. For getting it right in bearings. So if this is 60, the bearing of Q from P is actually 300, not 60. Why? Because the bearing isn't just any random whole angle. Firstly, you can't say 60 as a bearing. You have to say 060 because they want you to use three figures. So to get the bearing, you have to subtract this 60 from the whole 360 in a circle. In fact, it has some easy questions here. Let me go through the easy questions in the... Remember, I tell you the app for bearings. I ain't finished yet. But let's go through some of the easy questions, right? Where am I? Springer. Who got the keys to my Beamer? Right, we need to know that. Yeah, we could actually use some of them. Some of them tricky. The bearing of east is what? What is the bearing of east, class? Pick an answer real fast. So let me roll through this fast. This is like this little foundational stuff. The bearing of east will be 90. 090 to be exact. What is the bearing of southwest? What are looking like? Well, that's the 4-figure cardinal points, right? So you have north, south, east, west, in-betweeners. The in-betweeners is 45. So this is like 180 plus 45. So you know that is not 135. 225. Making sense? Not 270. 225. It would be 270 if it was going straight across here. You all seeing? You understand? And they could give you things like southwest and north and east. They do it all the time. They do it all the time in bearings questions. Go look at, we can see some. This is 315, so that is clearly, you add 45 to 270, you get 315, so that is who? What cardinal point is that known as? That is known as what? That is known as northwest. Northwest. And if you have northeast, what is this? Zion, you can't be on the right. This man come to run on a treadmill right now. Northeast will be 45. right? How many degrees in a full turn? A full turn, easy stuff, 360 degrees. You need to know that. South has a bearing of 180. So if you get that, you're in a good place. What bearing is due west? I'm going to erase through these, right? See if you somebody trying to join my live. See if you could get these fast. What bearing is due west? That is 270. See if you understand why. Southeast is between south and east. South and east. So the bearing is 90 plus 45, 135. Visualizing that with me, a bearing of 0. Who is a bearing of 0? 0 means you're pointing straight north. That means you're pointing. You didn't move, bro. You didn't move. North, right? You didn't turn, I should say. It's not really about movement. It's about turn. Northwest is the same as a bearing of, that was the one we get the 315. How many degrees between north and east? 45. 45 degrees, half of 90. Oh, shucks. I thought that was like in northeast. I had let's call it a brain lapse there. Sorry, my bad. I was thinking northeast. So C results. Apparently, he is a star performer, but I can't believe that way. I get one wrong. I make the questions. I just test these questions. Back to the map. Let me do the next easy question first. What is a bearing? A bearing is always measured from what? A bearing is always measured from north. And it's always measured in which direction? Anti-clockwise, clockwise, either way towards the north. It's always measured anti-clockwise. Oh God. They got my teaching license just now. So this is not, it's always measured clockwise, right? It's always measured clockwise. I'll blame it on the lack of sleep. I'm making the apps. So how should you write a bearing of 35? Well, you should put 035. You should put 035. Now, we're not resting this April. April is just space. 035. You have to put the 0, right? Bearing of Q from P means you're standing on who? Are we standing on Q? Or are we standing on P? Yeah, I made this, and I'm going to put it on my website soon. Coming soon to a site near you. Stay locked into the April nightly sessions, and you will be up to date with the latest. I have to rehaul my whole website, and that might take a whole week to attach these things properly. Bearing of Q from P means stands at from P. So stand at P and look at Q. I had to take my time with these questions because now ship A is on a bearing of 140 to ship B. You are standing, so ship A is on a bearing of 140 to ship B. I ain't on ship B yet, and ship A. So I'm standing on ship A. These ideas, these concepts that I have inside here is to help you understand the bearings, the initial part. What bearing is the same as 360? That's the 0. That's the all the way around. There's some technicality in that because you did actually make a turn, but essentially you're pointing in the same direction, which is not a valid 3-figure bearing. Well, the one that don't have the 0. Duh. So ready for the quiz? Oh, I thought that was the quiz. A bearing of 270 is equivalent to facing west. The quiz, speeding through the quiz, right? Everybody locked in here. The bearing of B from A is 120. You are standing where? From A. B from A. You are standing on A. Right? The bearing of 10 degrees east of north, that is 010. If you face north and turn 180 clockwise, you are facing south. And that looking like a 45. What is the bearing? 50? 50? Well, they don't have anything close to it, so 50 is the answer. Right? Well done. Perfect score. Flawless mastery. As it should be. We back on top, people. We back on top. Yeah, they had many first half. So, yeah, we talked about back bearings. We talked about these things. Let's just jump into some ideas surrounding bearings now. Where did my board go? So, where we could go with this? I could give you all some easy questions. I could come up with some questions. I build a question creator and the app there, but it's pressure though. Pressure. Me and ChatGPT and them fighting it out there earlier. How about if I told you this ship is here and this ship is B, and I give you this information? I'm not going to tell you anything. I say A is on a bearing of 290 degrees from B, and I ask you to find the value, find what is the bearing of B from A. All right, ladies and gentlemen, come and get it. Come and get it. Let's go. ChatGPT makes mistakes, plenty mistakes. Yeah, all them LLM makes mistakes and things. Yeah, but I don't know how to prompt. I turn it into a prompt master here. Prompt master. Wait until let's see what I have in store this week coming up here, boy. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned. Coming soon. So people saying 110. A lot of people saying 110. When I start to do it, if you feel to change your answer, permission granted. A lot of people saying 70. So a lot of people saying 60. Some people saying 90. All right, let's go. So first you put in the bearing that they give you. If you didn't realize, from B means you're on B, start at the north, go like this. We hit. Sometimes they don't give you the north. Next question I'm going to do, I'm not going to give you the north. Hey, this thing start following me. Just freeze it back. So this is 290. And if this is 290, this means this is 70 degrees. Is that the bearing they want? No, that's not a bearing. That's not even coming from north or anything. That's just an angle. But it's co-interior to this angle. Woohoo! Look over here. Co-interior. Which means this guy and this guy must add to 180. That is the fella we're looking for. That is actually the guy we want. North, from north, clockwise, not anti-clockwise, touching the line that connects the two. 110. Those of y'all who had 110, fire in the dance hall. You get it correct. Fire. So y'all understand that? Let's draw triangles now. Let's come up with some triangles. And we're still doing little bearing shenanigans here, right? Let's say this angle here is 60 degrees. And P, Q, R. And I said P ship R is on a bearing of 0 degrees to ship P, to port P. I don't want this to be moving, port P. And you have the other information in the diagram. What is the bearing of R from P? 2, what is the bearing of R from Q? Let's go, brilliant people. Let's go. Come on. Step up to the plate. Come and get it. So what is the bearing of R from P and R from Q? You're given this, and you're given that ship R is on a bearing of 0 degrees to port P. Time to cook. Time to cook. Diagram is drawn to scale, not drawn to scale. Not drawn to scale. If you can't, for these bearing questions, you're not supposed to be whipping out your protractor and measuring it unless they literally explicitly say the diagram is drawn to scale and use your protractor to find something. You're not supposed to be doing that. If you're whipping out your protractor thing, you're part of unrighteousness. So the first answer, a lot of people have 180, and 180 sounding good to me, you know. The bearing of R from P, that means I'm going to find P. From P means I'm on P, and I want to go to R from P. Hit them the north, draw an angle going down. Since I said this was 0 degrees, that means that this is due north, right? So if this is due north and I come here, that means this is due south, which means that is 180 degrees. Are we cooking, class? Cooking. The other one now. How are we going to find that bearing? A lot of people have 120. I can tell you 120 is wrong. So some people have 240. Some people have 240. I can tell you 240 songing real good. 240 songing enticing. It's correct. It's correct. So what is the most powerful pair of angles to help you crack the bearings question? We're going to do past paper questions in like the next 10 minutes, and you're going to see it again and again and again and again. You're going to see it again and again. The most powerful pair of angles to crack the bearings question. The co-interior, your pause supposed to be raising because I'm telling you something that people don't hear. Your co-interior angles, if you know that, you're safe. Parallel lines, well, you don't even get these kind of parallel lines. You get the knots. The knots are what make the parallel lines. The knots. And if you have a transversal, that is 2 points connecting the knots, cutting through the parallel lines, this angle and that angle will always add up to 180. You're looking for the U. We was doing this last night. Look for the U. Do you see a U here? No. Draw in your knot. You had to draw in your knot anyway because they want the bearing of R from Q. That means you're standing on Q, draw your knot, and swing around until you hit the line that connects R and Q. That looking like 60 degrees, 120. That's clearly more than 180 degrees. I mean, it's not drawn to scale, but we eyes still working. That is more than 180 degrees. How to find it? You need to get this guy right here. Why are you getting this guy right here? Co-interior angles. So if this is 60, this angle here is 120. Why do I modulate my voice and sometimes shout? Because from small parents used to shout at me and thing, and when you hear the voice raise, sometimes all of a sudden your brain is a little adrenaline is flowing, and sometimes you just understand one time. No, what is 4 plus 10? So 120. 120. That's not the answer. That's not the answer. If this is 120, you need to come around here, subtract from the 360, and you will get your 240, like how everybody else locking on the 240. Now, I also mentioned earlier at the start of this, there's a shorthand way to get this because this has a special name. It's called the back bearing. If you have the front bearing, you can find the back bearing. Because if this is 60, to find the back bearing, you just add the 60 to 180 and you're cooking. Why do you do that? Because the 60 is alternate with this, so you just add 60 to 180. You either add 180 or subtract 180. It depends on what the first angle was. So that's a shortcut you can keep in your mind. But still, hang on to co-interior because you can use co-interior in other ways too. We are cooking. So I think that's enough. I think we can just jump into a CXC question. Now remember, today is a day where we do super hard stuff and then we're going to ease off just now, people. We're going to put your foot on the brakes and just revise some negative numbers thing. Real super easy thing. So we're going to go try a negative number quiz thing that I have, right? Calculate the length of QR. Them just jump straight into the fire just so. We coming back to you. Coming back. Because we didn't revise the part for this. Coming back, right? Coming back. Coming back. We're coming back. Don't worry, coming back. They bearings? Oh. Nah. They not bearings. You see any bearings talk here? Nah. Oh yeah, look at that bearing here, boy. Number 3. Oh yeah, look at that northern thing. We coming back for you too. Coming back. I promise we coming back, right? We had to come back for. I want to get one that start off like in a classic way. Are you a classic man? The diagram below shows a triangular field LMP on the horizontal ground. Calculate the value of angle MLP. A classic man. You're a classic man, right? MLP. It's not even a classic, man. Coming back. I promise. Go and watch your first bearings. Most of the questions don't start like this, and they just starting to do these wildness. Hey, don't tell me my pen stopped working all of a sudden. I'll just give me a second there. Oh, the tip of the pen mash up. Just now, I think I have some spare tips somewhere here. Just now, people, just now. I write so much, the tip of the pen just shred out, just. Let me see if I can get it out. I hope these tips is the right tips. Why is that's angle of elevation. Right. So I have to insert, I have to come back to you too. On the classic way is that calculate the angle MLN. So read this question here and calculate MLN. I hope TikTok could see the whole thing. TikTok seen the whole thing. They want you to calculate MLN TikTok. That's this angle here. You need to calculate that angle. The pen don't want to come out. I gotta bite out this nib, boy. Come out. All right. Let's see what we're on here now. Now what are you talking about? Old as bring new. We're coming back to all of them, right? So they want you to calculate this angle here, MLN. That's what they say down here in case you can't see it. TikTok kind of a cut off, or the screen cut off. So the diagram below shows straight roads, L, M, N, R, connecting the tongues, 4 tongues, what? So LR is 18, everything is given here. Angle RLN is 25, LMN, where I see the letters before 88. So everything in the diagram can calculate angle MLN. So anything else given by? This is supposed to be a comeback day too, because they didn't start off the question nice, boy. The reason I was saying coming back all the time is because they keep starting off the question where they jump in straight to the sine rule or cosine rule. Usually they don't do that. Although the last like 3 years they did. They jump to the sine rule and cosine rule one time. So you know what? No more coming back. We'll just do it right now. But before we do it, I need to show you all what the sine rule and cosine rule is about. Quick segue, right? Some of you all know already. You were here for the last thing. A squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos A. Like the biggest, baddest formula in CSEC. It's not really that bad, but one of the gangster formulas. That's the cosine rule. That have nothing to do with SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA is for trigonometric ratios in a right angle triangle. This formula is not limited to right angle triangles. You could use this anywhere, anyhow, anytime. On site, you could just pull out that formula. The next formula is the sine rule. And the best way to do the sine rule is to see it in 2 ways, like sine A over common A is equal to sine B over common B. Of course, you could see 2, but you're not going to do all angles and sides in one question. It's always just be 2. Or A over sine A is equal to B over sine B. What's going on? Well, this is technically trigonometry. Somebody say thought is trigonometry. This is technically trigonometry. All of this is given on the formula sheet, but you should do so much questions that you don't need the formula sheet to remember it. So the cosine rule, the cosine rule is usually used for length. The sine rule is usually used for an angle. It doesn't mean you can't use this to find a length to it. Sometimes things rough and you have to use this to find the length. And sometimes things rough and you have to use this to find the angle. But it's rare, but it's happening. So usually you spot the cosine rule, good old cos man, cosine rule, cos rule, by they give you this angle. So let's say this angle is 69. I'm gonna use that number on these kind of settings, 79, and this side is like 100 kilometers, and this side is like 90 kilometers, and then you want to find that fella there. That's the cosine rule. That's the cosine rule right there. So what I told my students to look out for, what I tell them to look out for, they will say it in the chat. And then we can do the sine rule. The sine rule, you have a side. Usually you have all these sides by the time you're ready to use the sine rule, but you might have two. Let's say this is 50 kilometers. And let's say this side here is 83 kilometers. And you know this angle, so this angle is known. So let's say this angle is 80 degrees. And you're trying to figure out this angle. That's the sine rule. That's the sine rule. So some people know them SAS and ASS and SSA and all kind of weird things that they use. I don't really use that much with the students. I just kind of teach them through questions, and they learn it through questions. So yeah, you think of this guy as a guy here, and he's holding a stick, and usually you want to find the length of this stick, and you'll be surprised. It sounds silly, but you start to see it all over the place every time you're doing cosine rule. And the sine rule is really about a side and the corresponding angle. A side and the corresponding angle. In case you didn't know, triangles have a system. Here the system. Any triangle, this is the system. You never realize the system yet. If this is called angle A, opposite to angle A is common A, which is the length of the side. You notice that? If this is angle C, opposite to this is common C. If this is angle B, opposite to this is common B. Yeah. So if we apply this here, let me show you how the sine rule will apply and cosine rule will apply to these two examples. When I'm applying the cosine rule in this little crash course thingy that we have here, I am going to always use the general form because I want you all to get accustomed. But you could replace these things with anything. You could replace the length of the line, whatever, right? So this is where I'll put my A. This is where I'll put my common A, which is what I'm trying to find. And the other two sides will be B and C. I don't care about them. I could say that one is B, that one is C, that one is C, that one is B, anything, right? And then I write the formula. A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. Everybody cooking? And then you substitute. So write that down and substitute. Write that down and substitute, right? And I'm going to write the next one now. For this one, this is the angle that I'm trying to find. So I'll write A. Now remember I told you the sine rule, you could use it in two ways, this way or this way. It depends on whether you're trying to find the side or the angle. So since I'm trying to find the side, I'm going to name this one A. Opposite to this is common A. This is B. Opposite to this is common B. So now I'll write the rule. Sine A over A is equal to sine B over B. Cooking, substitute. Substitute this one. So I'm going to check your work now and see if you have this. A squared is what we're trying to find, so you can't substitute nothing there. B, I have that as 100. 100 squared plus 90 squared minus 2 by 100 by 90 cosine of 79. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to put that straight in your calculator. Whole. Those of you all who don't have the recommended calculator, it'll be painful to put in all your kind of calculator. But those of you all who have the recommended calculator, laugh off of them. Laugh off of them again. So you're going to put 100 squared plus 90 squared minus 2 by 100 by 90. So I'm just writing it in just as how I see it. Just now, my calculator in radians. That would be P and sorrow. Let's see that little R up there. Let's not go through that. So make sure you calculate in degrees, maths people. That radians is for the admathsarians. Alright, and that's it. Equal. 14665. Write down everything. It's good practice here to practice writing down everything. Oh, this calculator is a real fight. I don't wanna on the board. A squared. Somebody write that number for me now. Oh, the Leah come to the front. 14665.4. The Leah has to write down everything. Don't come straight up to the front. It's not necessary. Pass here also. You would still really get the answer that CXC have. But write down everything. 3 808. So you're going to get one long number, one's a decimal, one biggish number. And then you have to say A is now the square root of that everything, 14665.43808. And usually they want you to round this to 1 kilometer, 1 decimal point, one whole nearest whole number. So put this in your calculator. I literally just do this. Square root, answer, equal. That's a dangerous thing to do. Because if I press equal again, it will get the square root of this new thing. Watch. Carefully and do no silliness in the exam, right? So 121 kilometer. And then that's the answer. We just discovered it. That is the cosine rule right there. The big bad cosine rule. In fact, in bearings, I'm telling you, I was telling the live this last time too. I think the last live I did was just with all the students in the student hub. I was telling them that in bearings is not really about this, people think this is the hard part. The hard part is figuring it out. Figuring out what angle, what to use and things. This is just algebraic. Just substitute and work it out. Sine of A over 50 is equal to the sine of 80. I think I had 86 then. 86 over 83. So sine A, and you're going to just bring across the 50, whatever number is that. I usually just leave these things untroubled. I don't trouble this. I don't work out this. Could bring the 50 to join that too if you want. That's good maths as well. I don't trouble that. Nobody ain't going to interfere with that until I ready for sine inverse, because you bring across the sine to find A. Then I throw in this whole thing straight in the sine inverse, just like this. Watch. Watch. I'll show you. Show you the pro moves here. Shift, sine inverse, hit them a fraction, right 50, sine 86, close that bracket so, bang, come down here, hit a 83. I think you could just get away with that actually right now, but I still close up the brackets there, equal. And you're cooking at 36.937, at 36.9 on them, 36.9 to 1 decimal, please. That's 36.9 to 1 decimal, please. How do you feel about that? That's the cosine rule. That is the sine rule. That's what keeping you up at night. Is this what is keeping? No. Let's go and do the question and see what could be so scary about the question. So MLN. Well, you always want to keep your stay woke, people. Stay woke. You always want to keep your eye out on the triangle. You're looking at the triangle and you're trying to find what rule to hit them here, boy. One, no. Am I seeing the guy with the hands and the two? No, I'm not. It don't have a inscribed angle here stuck between two known sides. This is clearly a case of the sine rule. Two sides, two angles involved. If you have two angles and two sides involved, I like to write the S's first because you can end up in problems that way. Not trying to get screenshot dick. So if you have this involved, that is the sine rule, and one of them is unknown. The cosine rule, you have side, and then an angle. Just one angle involved. Usually you know the angle and you're trying to figure out one of the sides, right? So clear case of the sine rule. So here's what I do. And I advise the newbies to this, the people who now start revising. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. That's now, eh? Yeah, so you're going to draw over the triangle. You don't need to pull out your ruler and thing. I know some are really lazy anytime you come to draw graph and triangle. No, you just draw a little quick sketch. And don't worry, it won't fight you down like me. And you're going to rename it. Catch where I'm coming from? And you see the wonders here. So this is the angle that I want, right? Call that the A, because we know how to use the sine rule, like what I just teach you. Some of you all, that's probably the first time you use the sine rule, right? So set it up nice and you'll feel happy. A here is 10. Put your B over there, that's the next angle that we know. You all understand? And there's your next B, which is 12. We teach them how to label things, but anyhow, it's drawing. So therefore, you hit them the sine rule. Sine A over A is equal to sine B over B. Substitute. Class, are we cooking? 10 sine 88, 12. Bring across the 10 just like how I show you. Are you cooking? Sine A, 10, sine 88 over 12. Bring across the sine. A is equal to the sine inverse of 10 sine 88 over 12 and get answer. Get that answer. So I'm about to say something that I said way back when I started this channel in 2018. 2018. What were you doing in 2018? Sine of 88 over 12. So there was a student who kept, because remember, something obviously wrong with me in a good way, because here I am teaching maths every night, right? So I'm real passionate about teaching maths. Evidently, nobody paid me for this. This is 56.4. So in the beginning, I used to be, anytime somebody writes something in the chat, I'll go in and attend to everything people write in the chat. But there's something that I told someone in 2018. I realized as I was teaching more and more students, like large groups, I teach thousands of students already, that the smart students never ask me to repeat. They never ask me to repeat. Smart students, I never say they never ask questions, but they never ask me to repeat. And then I stop and say, asking a teacher to repeat, you all need to take out your vocabulary. Now that's unconventional, right? Your parents must tell you, if you don't understand, make sure and ask the teacher if you don't understand and tell them to repeat it and thing. No, take out your vocabulary. Take it out. Instead, ask a specific questions. Most math teachers love to explain things. They love it. If you ask a specific question, where you get a 88 from? Where did 10 come from? So did you bring across this? Why? What is sine inverse? And you will benefit more from specific questions. Think about it. Think about these smart people in your class. They ask specific questions, they follow in, and when they realize they're not following, they ask a question at the point of where they're not following. Then there's you. Space out, watch your teacher do 20 minutes a week and then say, I don't understand. You can repeat the whole thing, but you don't even know which part you was lost in. That's the wrong approach. I know sometimes you really don't understand the whole thing, but try and put that into your approach to mathematics and you'll see the difference. Okay, let me go. Calculate the distance NR. Let's see in the cosine rule watching when we face there. You want me to draw it over? Draw over that triangle. Why draw that so, boy? This is the triangle LNR. 12, 18, 25. You all seen the two hands? You seen it? I'll put this way. I'll go which way? I'll go this way. This way. This way. This way. You see the two hands like this? These two hands. Bang, bang, guy in the middle. Cosine rule, dead giveaway. And you're trying to find, I'm sure you're trying to find this. Right? NR. Bang. So what you do, you come, watch this. You name this one A. The side you're trying to find common A, the other two sides B and C, you write the cosine rule. A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. And then you substitute A squared is what you're trying to find. You substitute the rest, 12 squared. This is a past paper, you know. Let's see how easy this was. That wasn't hard at all, right? I was trying to find the worst case scenario where they start you off and you have to try and figure out the angle. 18 squared minus 2 by 12 by 18 cos of A, cos of 25. Put that thing whole in your calculator, boy. Whole. Oh yes, this will be a little slow for me because I'll be moving my mouse and clicking and thing, but you're supposed to be brisk on this. 18 squared. Man, I can just put 18 squared just so, yes. Out and good and stunting. Cos of 25. Close up that and press equal there. 76. Yes, because it's small numbers. Rare, small numbers. So I guess 76 point, what I tell you? 76 point what? Right D? Give me the whole thing. I'll write this down in the chat for a minute. 475036. 475036. 76. So write the whole thing, and then you say A is equal to the square root of the whole thing. Oh, that bearings thing. My calculator go on, my calculator come back. Square root of the whole thing. Bang. 8.74. Okay, 8.75. Oh, round off. 8.75 is equal to 8.75 kilometers. 3 marks, 2 marks. This is recent, you know. January 2022. How many of y'all think here that 3 marks and 2 marks looking attainable? Looking good. Looking attainable. Determine the bearing of tongue R from tongue L. From tongue L. Preposition. Bearing of tongue R from tongue L. Find tongue L. Tongue L. Draw from north where R is. And keep going until you hit the line that touches. And we just figure out the angle. And we just figure out this angle was 56.4. Who was that? Yeah, we just figured out the angle was 56.4. So therefore, we just add up these 3 bad boys here. Bang, bang, bang. And we cooking. That's why it's only 1 mark. So the bearing is going to be 50 plus 56.4 plus 25. Earlier on, I said I'm coming back to a whole bunch of questions. I ain't really. I'm feeling to come back. 131. 131.4. Let me see. Because we still need to do a quick session and easy stuff, right? Don't worry, you can come back another time. If you want to see more bearings, WhatsApp the number and register to the crash course. Brought to you from the student tab. Complete the diagram with the information given. Beautiful question. Classic. I think this is a classic. This is a classic, everybody. Look at this one. This is a classic bearings question here. Classic. And I need me to zoom in. All right, well, let me zoom in and read this first. What I always do is look at this and I call it looking for new friends. What does looking for new friends mean, class people? I'm looking here to see if I see any new friends. Do I see any new friends up there? From a harbor H, the bearing of 2 ships Q and R are 06. I need to put in here. Bearing from H, Q, they put in the 069. They need to put in the 151. New friends mean new information. Yeah, that's right. And so I'm going to put in this coming around here. So shizzle wazzle. And I'll just put 151 there to indicate that, right? Q is 175 from H. They add up in that too. They're making this hard for me, boy. So 175 km. Nice. While R is 242. All right, so there was 2 pieces of information I need to put in. Complete the diagram and show the information given. Like carbos. Good. It's not a total classic because they usually ask you a kind of little bearings question here with that you don't need to use the cosine rule or sine rule to figure out. So we'll see one just now. We have to, before we go into directing numbers, we have to see one. But we already covered a nice bit here. You could search Cohen Spring and bearings to see me do bearings again. But the old bearings, I improved my bearings how I introduce it to students. Like what I just introduced to you all would slap a little more than the old stuff. But in the old stuff, I use like it's on paper and it's very tactile and you get to see me draw and measure and all kind of things. So that helps as well. Calculate QRD distance between the 2 ships. Anybody realize that you need to get this angle here? Because you see in the triangle, we kind of see in this setup, you see in the man with the 2 hands holding up the stick, and we need to find the length of the stick, QR, but we're not going to, when we draw by the triangle, we're not going to name it them thing. We're going to name it A, B, C. So this is common B, this is C. I don't really need these B and C to be honest. And this is common A. And that is who? The cosine rule. Yes. Lock in, ladies and gents, lock in. This angle, I need this angle, but I could find it. Angle A, I draw it over and relabel it, so that's totally fair. I can do that. Is 151 minus that 69, which is 82. I'll get 82. 82 degrees. So this is your 82 degrees. Yes, load up your cosine rule. A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2. BC cos A. You drop in everything. 178 squared plus 242 squared minus 2 by 178 by 242 cos of 82. You throw it into your calculator. Just so. It's starting to get a little bit of repetition there already. And where the calculator going by? What is this? All right, good. You always know you're starting to reach in a good place in mathematics when everything feeling a little deja vu-ish. Oh yeah, I know what to do here. Oh yeah, I do that already. Oh yeah, let me just do this. But you have to put pen to paper. All of the good students in this live that answer the question fast, them didn't learn maths by just watching alone. Guarantee. Them do a lot of questions. I didn't become natural in maths from just watching. I was always really good in maths, like really good in primary school and secondary school. And although I won't say I was the most disciplined student, as I was very good at studying for exams and prepping for exams. So I just put in this whole thing here, boy. I forget. I was supposed to write out the thing whole and 78257 point. Get take up in this talk here. 78, all there. The thing, right? The thing. So A squared is equal to that. I'm too tired to be memorizing all them. The square root of the thing, and what you get? 279.75 kilometers. You have to write it out for yourself. The worst trick, the trick of the enemy is watching me do this and telling yourself, I understand. And not doing anything about it. Woe unto those who do that. Calculate how far due south is ship R of the harbor H. Ship R, we want this here. That's a little tricky question. How far due south in terms of distance, right? In terms of distance, they want this distance here. So that's a kind of easy question. How are we going to find that question, ladies and gents? How are we going to find that question? So it's 175. Well, all you who get it now, 175, up to 178, 175. So how much will I get? And tell you who give me the thing? Oh gosh, I'm going to change the price of milk, man. But you understand, right? I put 178 here, people, because that was looking like an 8, but they're telling me it's 175. If you see how much people on YouTube screaming at me at 178, this is 278 then. I get 278 here. Kilometers. Thanks for that, though. Oh, I don't like anything to be hanging up in the life. So what going on? How are we going to find this? Notice this say to the nearest kilometer. Eh? I think I do this one in class already. How are we going to do this? How are we going to get this distance? You notice I gave you a little hint by drawing a right angle there. Anytime a right angle involved, put down the guns. You don't need, put down the cosine rule and this. Calm down. You could use SOHCAHTOA or Pythagoras theorem. One of them will come in. So you can only use Pythagoras theorem if you have two sides. I do have two sides. I have a side and an angle. I don't really have an angle in a triangle, but I could find this angle, right? Because this is 151, so this remaining angle here would be what? This remaining angle would be 29, I agree? So I have a triangle, 29 degrees here, and I know the hypotenuse is 242, and they want me to find the length of what? The adjacent side to the angle. Are we cooking? Cos of 29 is equal to the adj over the hip. Are we trying to find again? The additure. So the hip was really 242. So bring that across. So 242 cos of 29 is equal to the additure. So just put on your calculator now. How much will you get? All right, look like I had to do it for myself. I ain't afraid to do that for myself. 242 cos of 29. 211 or 212. So therefore, what do I want? The distance is 212 kilometers to the nearest kilometer. One more. Uno más. I need a nice one, boy. We actually have a good looking question. This is a classic. I feel like I do this, and we do this in class. I feel like I do this a million zillion times. Let me go back to one of these ones I say I'm coming back to. I'll go back to which one. Which one do I want to do? We have 3 to pick here. 2024, June, 2024, Jan, and 2023. Which one of I was stressing out on? This one looking nice, enough. This one looking nice. Oh, this one is a reverse cos. A reverse cos. So this one involves using the cosine rule in reverse. So we could do that. Show the value of x. What is this one? This one is a reverse cos as well. Another reversal of the cos. I want to do the reverse cos. 3D tricks. What about this one? This is calculate QR. So this is your normal cosine rule. Let me do the tough one and the reverse cosine. And this is your normal stuff here, right? So let's go do this one. Let's go do this one. Let's go do this one. So they want the angle MLP. MLP is this angle. Now, why I say reverse? Because you see a little problem in this, right? What's the problem here? What's the problem here? The reverse cosine. Because normally in the cosine, they give you this angle. And they don't give you this side, and you have to figure out this side. So that's the man with the 2 hands, and you boom. These people didn't give you the angle. That one is be messy. This reversal is how to be bringing across things, and it's be kind of messy. But let me do it. Same thing. Draw the pros. I don't need to draw over the triangle. I can use the normal name and feature and everything. Normal things that they have there, the MLP, but vertices. But non-pros, newbies. Rename this to save yourself a little bit of stress. A, B, C. I don't really need to name these points because they're not going to use those angles. So you call this B, we could call this C, right? This is 120. This is 150. This is unknown. And this is 180. Hit them the cosine rule. A squared is equal to, we'll do that up here. I might get some space. Where I can get some space? A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC. Cos A. We know A squared this time. Usually don't know A squared. 180 squared. The man I know eyes. 120 squared plus 150 squared minus 2 by 120 by 150. Need a little more space there. Excuse me. Bang. Cos of A. Notice in this case, I don't have anything to write here. That's actually what I'm trying to find. The reverse cosine rule. Nessa shared the live with more than 3 friends. Big up Nessa. Pookie shared the live. Too pretty for shared the live. Big up you. Nessa just follow me. Big up Nessa on TikTok. Right. We back to business now. So what we gonna do, boy, Nessa, boy? What we gonna do? So you have to be careful with this, right? You can't just put this hole in your calculator. What you could do is put this part here, hole. It's a different highlighter. So let me zoom in on it. Just want to take you through this reverse cos kind of idea where you need to find the angle. So find this out, not the negative. Find this out as well. You could find this part here out too, right? And you could even find out this part. Shouldn't I highlight that with red? Why ain't I writing in red? This part here. So let's do all three of that on the calculator. Let's go. 180 squared is what? I don't really want to do 180 squared now. Because I could just leave that alone. I'm not troubling nobody. I'm not really, because I'm going to bring across things. Leave that alone. I feel like, honestly, I would have just can't subtract these things from 180 squared one time on the calculator. But let me show you the long way for those who could get lost on the algebra here. 180 squared is 3. Oh, they're helping me. YouTube helping me. 32400. Malik for the win. Malik, you message them about them the jacket, bye. Message the hub. 324. I mean, it's Sunday and Saturday and thing, but you should get an answer. Definitely will get one by the time tomorrow reach. Somebody already filled me up here by 36900. Hold on, I'm not looking right. Nah, don't trust that person. 120 squared plus 150 squared. Oh, they're doing the whole thing. Okay. 36900 minus, I thought they was doing that. Minus who? Minus 3600 cos A. Y'all get that? Y'all get those numbers? This is just like if I have, you all know in algebra, like if you have 3 is equal to 4 minus 2x, you bring across the 4, then you divide by the -2. Making sense? You know what I'm talking about? So you're going to bring across this and then divide by this. It's negative, so it will sort out. So you get 32400 minus this, which are going to negative. But then you'll have equal minus 36000 cos A. It's 3 zeros at a time, right? But now we have to end up dividing back by this now. Feeling for some steak right now, but I can do some steak right now. Anybody has steak in their house? So I leave in that just so. This is a number, a fraction, 0 point something as well. You're always supposed to get a fraction there, otherwise you get error. So what you need to do is bring across the cos now. So A is equal to the cos inverse of all of that. Somebody have it a little more simplified in the chat. They realize that this will make up Malik and them minus 4500. And you just put it over negative 360 straight in your calculator like this, and you get 82.8 degrees. So the reverse causes be a little more messy. You have a little more rearranging work to do. You can practice this question. This is June 2023. There's another one here, June 2024. You have to do a reverse cos for this x because you know the 3 sides and you're trying to find the angle. So yeah, check out that one. Next up, they give you that the bearing of P from L is 210. P from L. So you know what they're talking about there, right? So what was 82.8? What are you trying to find? 82.8. This here was 82.8. All that we can just erase it, no problems. 82.8. Guys, you're going to do this directed numbers after this, right? It's getting late. So how do we, well, this told us the bearing here of P from L goes like this. That's 210. Find the bearing of M from L. That's the back bearing. And P from L, no, oh sorry, that's M. M from L. From L means what? You're on L. You're going from L. And I'll tell that 82.8 minding his own business there. So you can just take out that 82.8 and the chat telling me again 127.2. And calculate the angle NLP. And hence NLP, where's NLP? NLP or MLP? NLP, this angle here. They're giving you help. And hence find the bearing of L from P. L from P. Now, if you have the 210, you can just minus 180 and you'll get 30 one time. See how the back bearing is work? You just either add or subtract 180. So if it's over 180, you subtract the 180 to get the bearing, the back bearing. If it going 210 this way, the back bearing is 30. But they wanted you to get this angle here, and the reason they want you to get this angle here, ladies and gentlemen, is because it's the co-interior angle, the most important angle known to man when it comes to bearings and figuring out little tricks. So 150 degrees, if this is 150, then this angle and this angle must add to 180, so that is 30 degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together. We are putting a pause on bearings right now, and we're trying to lock off some directed numbers. Let me take a cool down. Some cool down. Bearings. Yeah, boy. Bearings, boy. Whew. So, Springzilla is going to do this. Those of you who are watching in the future, things might be real nice for you because I should have this up on my website already. I just sorting out TikTok here so they can see the screen a little better. You all could just go to my website and think. Somebody saying more bearings. Nah, Samantha. Take it easy, nah, Samantha. You go and do the more bearings for yourself. So, let's go through. As fast as possible. This is a speed run. Directed numbers. What are directed numbers? Directed numbers are numbers that have direction. They can be positive or greater. So, when you're talking directed numbers, you're talking negative numbers or positive numbers. Real world examples like temperature. Temperature, 25 degrees above, negative 5 degrees below. You could get temperatures below 0. You know that? You could go below like this. That's below 0, right? Another example is like height. You could go below sea level. That'll be negative. Another example, this is the biggest example teachers love to use, is money. You could overdraft money and actually owe the bank. So this is the super easy thing. Most of you all have this inside out. So you're just getting a little vibes here. This is entertainment. So we're going on to do some questions. Samantha, you're supposed to have me breezing through these questions rapid speed. So there we go. Plane flies 9,000 meters above sea level. Try and get before me. Say to yourself before me. Which number represents this? That's plus 9,000. I hope I don't get nothing wrong. The temperature falls to 8 degrees below 0. What is this? That's negative 8. A company makes a profit 200, which is like plus 200 profit. You go down 3 floors in the building, so you actually go down, so you're minus 3. That's it. One more. A swimmer is 4 meters below the water surface, negative 4. Ready for the quiz. What negative 12 represents in real life could represent the temperature below. Which statement is true about directed numbers? Every number is positive, negative, or 0. That's true. Only negative. This is true. Walk. A hot air balloon rises 250 meters. That's plus 250, or just 250 by itself. Which pair both represents a negative directed change? Gaining, losing, climbing, earning, losing. By negative. If 20 means 20 kilometers north, what does negative 20 means? 20 kilometers south. This premiums. So what are we gonna do, boy? Next level. So the next level is the number line explorer. The further right you go, the larger the number. The further left you go, the smaller the number. Negative 5 is less than negative 2. Negative 2 is less than 0. 0 is less than 3. Here's this number line. You can actually visualize what's happening here. You can visualize it. Are you hearing that noise? It's making a nice little noise there too. When it come out on the website, go and check it out. All right, racing through the practice questions now. Let me get a little zoom in there for the classes committee. Which number is further left, negative 3 or negative 8? Had to be negative 8, further left. I hope you get that correct. Eh? Order these numbers from largest to small, negative 4, negative 2, 0, 1. Beautiful. What integer comes immediately after negative 5 on the number line? This one is for you. This one is for you. 5, 4, 3, 2, negative 4. Which number is the largest? Well, the least negative here will be the largest, so negative 1. On the number line, 2 is to the right of negative 6. Ready for the quiz. Which is further left on the number line, negative 4 or negative 9? Negative 9 is further left. Order the smallest will be negative 7, negative 1, U. Next. Are you getting these out? Is in these things, right? How many integers are negative 4 and... Oh, this is a nice one. This is a nice one. This is actually coming CXE. This one is coming CXE. What's this question? How many integers are between negative 4 and 1? Well, you can't count negative 4 and 1. So you have to say negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, right? 4. 4 is the answer. You see how much people get that one wrong, eh? You see? So it's 4, not 5. Negative 12 is... I thought this was super easy. Negative 12 is less than. Less than negative 7. One more. Which set is ordered from smallest to largest? Boom. The more negative you are, the smaller you are. Cooking. Number line pro. Master the number line. Percentage 100%. XP is 125. We out here. Bad. So we just finished these two. Ordering and comparing to go. So you need to know how to order numbers. Like you could play around with this thing. You could put negative 5. Oh, no. Negative 5 will go here. Negative 5 will go here. Negative 8 will go there. Plus 2 will go here. Ready for them. You can reset it, get new numbers, all kind of thing. Practice, right? Boom. Got it. Practice. Which symbol makes this true? 0 is something, is more than negative anything. Negative 9 is less than. This comes in CXE all the time. That's what we're doing here. Which is greater? Negative 4, negative 1, negative 1. You're not talking about just shopping the multiple choice. Negative 6, negative 3, smallest to largest. Boom. Which number is between negative 5 and negative 3? That's going to be negative 4. And ready for the quiz. Which is true? I hope you all answering them before me, eh? Which is true, class? I'm trying to zoom in further here, but it's allowing me to be great. Class is crew. You just had to hope for the best here. Which is true? Negative 7 is less than... That's true. That's totally true. Order from the smallest to largest. 1 second. My screen just shut off for some reason. Nice. Which setting is ordered from greatest to least? Greatest. Boom. So we're going to get ready to add in some more stuff to this now. How many integers are greater than negative 4 and less than 2? That the in between? Greater than, they should have put an equal to. I'm going to add in that. Greater than and equal to. I'm showing some of that too. Negative 4 and less than 2. Negative 3. Negative 2. Negative 1. 0. 1. This time it's 5. I didn't get it wrong this time, right? What is the smallest? Negative 12 is the smallest here. 5 out of 5 percentage thing. We cooking. Alright, so we finished module 1. That's just the foundational stuff. Oh gosh, the screen freeze on TikTok. The screen freeze. I'm going to fix that for you. Sorry, TikTok. I wasn't paying attention to my TikTok areas. Check out this. TikTok might want to fight me down when screen freeze and all kind of thing. TikTok might punish me. Display capture. It coming, TikTok. It coming. We good, right, TikTok? Just delete this one. TikTok, you seeing it? Adding and subtracting directly numbers follows a simplified rule. Y'all, this is big hardback CXE students be mixing up this one. So lock in. 2 positives make a positive. 2 negative makes a positive. If you mix the sign, you get negative. But this is when the signs meet. This works also for multiplication. But for adding and subtracting numbers, you switch the signs to 1. Then if you see same signs, you add the numbers. If you see different signs, you subtract the numbers and you put back the sign of the larger number. For example, what is the answer here? I'm going to do 5 of this real fast. What is the answer here? A version of this one actually on my website, I think. Well, you don't overuse it. That'll stick up, man. And I'm hosting it in a good spot right now. This is negative 10. Way to go. Next one. 5 plus negative 4. You could go and set your own numbers too. 1. Next one. 9 minus 7. Well, I had no trick state. I just 2. -4 minus -4. Let's go. Put your answer. -4 minus -4. 0. Not -8. Kathleen. Because the negative and negative bounce up and turn it into positive. You always need to watch out to see if 2 signs meet first. Where is it? If 2 signs meet, 2 negatives will change into a positive. So this is -4 plus 4. Different signs subtract probability. Well, 4 minus 4 is 0. -6, try again. This one. -6 minus 3 minus -3. 2 negative signs bounce up, turn to positive, -6 plus 3, and -3. And you can also see these steps. Let me just zoom back out. You can see these steps, like if you don't understand why, they will tell you what's going on here. So, those of you all in the future, if you're coming from the future, how is the future? How things? Is the Strait of Hormuz possible yet? Just go on my website right now and you'll be able to get it if you're coming from the future, right? We're going to go back to the map. What were we just doing just now? Adding and subtracting. Oh, shucks. We had to practice. Guys, we had to get through this fast. 4 plus 6 is 10. Negatives are speeding up now. This is -2. Oh. -4 plus... Oh, shucks. This will turn to negative. Misclick. That's a misclick. That's 4 plus -6. This will be minus 4 minus 6 is -2 this time. -4 plus 6 is 2. 7, this is like plus, so that is 10. -6, this is -10. 5 minus 8 is -3. Ready for the quiz? Let's go, ladies and gents. -8 plus -3. These bounce up to negative. So, -11 is the answer. 9 plus -4. Giving you all a little time. What is this? What is the answer here? Answer is going to be 9 minus 4 is just 5. 5. Good thing it didn't lock in. That was our next misclick. So 6 minus -3, 6 plus 3 is 9. Let's go. -7 minus 5 is -12. I'll give you a little time with this one. And that is enough time. You're supposed to say 0. 5 out of 5. Cooking. Back to the map. So that's adding, multiplying, and division. Wait. Back to the map. This is an old version of this. I updated this with this just merged into one, and there's a extra version of that. So guys, I'm going to skip this one because I merged every part of that into one. So it doesn't help me by doing this and not testing it. Substitution. Why is in the chat if you understand substitution? So we skip a module. 3x minus 1. If I switch what x is 0 right now. 3 by 0 is 0. 0 minus 1 is -1. This is where negative numbers really start to get spicy. Because like if I have a negative number in there, 3 by -3, zoom in on it. Oh, I know zoom, I can fix the zoom. 3 by -3 is -9. Negative minus 1. -9 minus 1 is -10. Rate out of 10, how much y'all understand your directed numbers? Answers, real fast, ladies and gents. Real fast. We are the last here. A is equal to 4, 3. A is equal to 3 by 4 is 12. A is -5, 2 by -5, 2 by -5. You just multiply and follow the sign rules. -10. X is 3, Y is -4. 3, those who are watching in the future, pause the video every time I turn to a new one and answer the question for yourself. 3 minus 4 is -1. If A is equal to -3, -3 plus 10 is 7. P -4, Q 3. You could write out this one if you need to. 3 by -4 is -12 plus 2, -10, not 10, -10. Cooking. Ready for the quiz. If M is -5, 3M, that's 3 by -5, -15. X is 4, put in the 4, 6 4 24 minus 5 is 6 fours. 24 minus 5 is 19. Negative 2. 5. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. I feel like this one was easier than the practice. Negative 3. 2 by negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 10. Still in the positives. Still in the positives is 4. 4. Negative 3. 3 by 4 is 12. 12 minus 6. Because 2 by negative 3 is minus 6. So 12 minus 6. All of these positives over. And positivity is a good sign. So back to the map. Let's do distributive law. This is the next way negative numbers has people in a chokehold with the distributive law. If you have a negative number there, can I scroll? I really need to zoom in on this for the glasses crew. I can't. Glasses crew, boy, how they treating all this? So negative 2. I could probably zoom in right here on the screen, but I'm not thankful for that. So I hope all you have a good device. It's supposed to be on the TV already. I don't tell you about that. But y'all know what will happen there. The negative 2 multiplied by x is negative 2x. Negative 2 multiplied by the 3 is negative 6. Now you could use this, because this was really made for my Form 1 students. You could use this to see these steps happen. New expression. This is the most dangerous one. I can't zoom in anymore, people. I'm sorry. This is my most zoom I have. Negative 3, I'll see the numbers. Negative 3 by x is negative 3x. But people forget the negative, and the negative makes a positive. They'll have instructions and stuff on the side here, right? So, let's go. Got it. Speed practice. Speed mode again. This one zooms a little better. Alright, not really. So I'm going to do this real fast actually. 3x3, let's hope I don't make any mistakes. 12. I'm really watching the back number, right? Negative 3 by negative 12. And then negative 3x. 2x minus 10. Negative 4x. How good are you all in these things? Now watch out for the double negatives here. Despite the sense tingling, right? So that's positive. But the front will be negative. Same thing. Minus 6x. Plus 4. Ready for the quiz. Expand. 4x plus 12. Speed mode. Negative 3x. Negative 6x. Watch the double negatives here again. Negative 3 by negative 5. Positive. 5 by y. Those in the future, don't just watch it like Netflix and pause. Work it out yourself. Make sure you're good. 5 by y. 5 by minus 15. Negative x. Minus 8, because the negative will go by the 8, right? 3 by negative x plus 4. Yeah, the pause quick because I did it quick. 3 by negative 3x plus. I need a plus somewhere. Negative 3x. Good. Another 5 out of 5. This is where it reaches up to like Form 5, solving simple equations. And this is the last thing we're doing for today, the final assessment. I'll leave that out. That's just a mix of everything. So, equations. How does equations work? Well, this is the instructions here, but you guys are supposed to be professionals in it. So, most schools will teach you two methods. One of the two methods, either the balance method or the transposition method. In the Caribbean, I, myself, really promote the transposition method. I find it's more elegant, it's faster, it has a flow. But the balance method is what everyone starts off with in Form 1. You all remember this? Subtract 1 from both sides, and sometimes you used to write it here, minus 1, or sometimes you write it like this. Why isn't it chat if you know what I'm talking about? So, people need that website. It coming. www.kerwinspringer.com. But my website in a mess right now. It's not in a total mess, but I will fix it up nicer in a week or two. So, and then you simplify. So 1 minus 1 is 0, and 10 minus 1 is 9. And then you bring across the 3. Divide both sides by 3. If you know how much quarrel I had to quarrel with this program to get them to put this 3 in the proper spot and thing. That's where all my sleep went last night. Simplify. So x is equal to 3. X is equal to 3. So x is equal to 3. Great. New equation. I should not do a new equation. I should use the same equation and show you all the transposition method. So in the transposition method, which is what we do here online and which is what most of the students use, you bring across this. You're kind of treating the equal sign like an inverter. So no more you think of subtracting from both sides. It don't really I'm going and freeze again earlier. And probably freeze for the TikTok people. TikTok people. Let me see if it freeze. Simplify. Yeah, it freeze for you. 1 second, YouTubers are just trying to make sure the TikTok people in the loop, they're watching diligently. TikTok, we at it again. So what we did is after you bring across the 5, you add it, and then you get ready to target this. Bring across this, and you. How many of you all do this? You all have the flow? You all have the flow? So if you have the flow, but this is a very useful thing that I will be using with my Form 1s to help them like totally understand this. Because some people take so long, years, and by the time you reach Form 4, you now start to figure it out. So that would really help students in the future. See, I'm using technology for good. You should too. So x plus 3 is 10. You bring across the 3, you get 7. X minus 4 is equal to negative 1. You bring across the 4. The 4 will be positive, so it will outweigh the negativity of the 1, and you'll actually get 3. 3x, you bring across the 3, will tend to divide. Negative 12 divided by 3. Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. This is dividing, so when I bring it across, it tends to multiply. Now you have to pick a struggle. I don't bring this across and switch. You can't switch from divide to multiply and switch from subtraction to addition at the same time. The equal sign don't overwork itself like that, right? So this will come across and still stay negative, but it changed to multiply. So your answer is actually B. I will do the 2 steps for this in mentally, but when I'm teaching this with my class, with my Form 1s and stuff, I would actually write it out here. 2x minus 5 is equal to 3. 2x minus 5 is equal to 3. Don't talk for how much stress it was to create this whiteboard. So 2x is equal to 3 plus 5. 2x is equal to 8. Are you seeing the vibe? 8 over 2. X is equal to 4. Cooking, right? Or you can see if you can picture it in your mind. See if you can follow that flow in your mind. TikTok, we freeze again. TikTok, and then the stream there for TikTok. Love and blessings. I'll press follow. I think TikTok is what causing me to be knocked out so all the time. I think TikTok, you causing 9. So I end the day for TikTok. Love and blessings. They could come over to YouTube. I'm only going to spend like 5 minutes again on YouTube just running through the last 3 questions. 5 questions. So later, press follow. We get sight up tomorrow. Same time, same place. Tomorrow we're doing, back 1 multiple choice for maths. Listen to this, everybody. 1 multiple choice for maths, and then after we do the 1 multiple choice for maths, we're gonna do physics people lock in. Tuesday, we are going to go through all the formulas in physics. All. Right? All the formulas in physics. And I have a little card system here for you all. You want a preview? I want the preview. And then the stream on YouTube. I'm going to show YouTubers the preview. I'll show you the preview just now, right? So 2x minus 5, bring across the 5, you get 3 plus 5 is 8 in your mind, and you divide by 2 and you get it 4, right? And I'll also show you how to work it out. Ready for the quiz? Let's ease through this quiz fast, and then we will is this live already ended? Then I'll show you what's coming for the week. X plus minus 6. So this had to be real positive, 7. Because like 7 minus 6 is 1, right? Next. Negative 3, it had to be a negative 5, so that would come back positive. This turns a plus, so this is just 3. This is like 3 plus 4 is 7. 4x plus 3. I'm going too fast. I feel I'm going too fast for the future people. They ain't getting a chance to pause. 4x plus 3, bring across the 3 to negative. So negative 12, and then you divide by 4. Negative 12 divided by 4. Negative 3. And x divided by 2. Bring across the 2. The 2 don't switch sign. It's just 2 by negative 5. 0, watch it from there. Come out. Come out. So 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. And we outside. Now there's more to this. Of course, you could go and do the final assessment and thing, those of y'all who on the website in the future. So What we doing, boy? Let me just show you what's happening here. What's going to happen in... Did the screen disappear? I closed it. Yeah. So share whole screen. This is the plan. Guys, help me plan all the weekday. Help me plan all the week. So this is the plan here. So Monday we're coming back with our last little MCQ for maths. That might be the last MCQ for maths for a while. Tuesday, I want to do all the formulas, all the formulae for physics. Formulae, same thing. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, or you can give me some clues. What are you feeling for? What do you want to have for lunch or have for a late dinner actually? Or you want to see some linear programming? So we need to do simultaneous equations. Simultaneous equations. Wednesday is what? Wednesdays be a late night. Wednesday, remember, coming from church. Late. Or there was some chem. So here, we will do the chem on Friday or Tuesday. So it's vice versa. One of them. And somebody asks for simultaneous equations. So I'm going to do a whole heap of simultaneous equations. I'm going to attempt 100 questions, but I feel I'll get fed up if I reach 100 questions because that's just mind-numbing for me to do so much simultaneous equations. So simultaneous equations will either be on one of these 2 days as well, right? Because I have to go and talk to the chem teacher to bring them on board. So I'll go organize a little something for chem, maybe a little moles while you want in chem. Chem people while you want. Bio will be the following week. We come in with a big bio or something the following week, right? Or maybe on Saturday. Saturday we can bring in the bio. What do you want in chem? What's the problem in chem? Moles. So you're touching moles when you come in chem. Straight. So maybe I can make a little platform for you on moles. Sorry, let me show you what this thing is about. What the physics formula. What we're going to be vibes in it. I feel we have enough time to do we have enough time to do 2 things tomorrow, you know. I might do 2 things. I might do 2 set of physics things, like cut the live and come back again. Old time something, come back again. So, what I'm doing is, I took my formula book. I have a formula book with all the formulas in physics. And I put all the formulas into an app. So, and you can use it like what is called them thing? Flashcards. So you click the formula and all the sections, 45 formulas here so far. Let me just go on, let's say you want to go on mechanics. And you have the flashcards. You'll be able to print it out as well. You have the flashcards. What is the formula for power? Somebody answer that. We're going to do all of this tomorrow, right? Or you're going to help me. We have enough time to do this and something else. Are you going to see the next something else? Let's see why I'm not sleeping for the last few nights. So you click on it and you get to reveal the formula. All right, I see the add maths people saying add maths. Power is energy transferred over time, right? And it's a very common formula. E-T. I could say good or whatever. What do you think? Think this is useful? Active recall. If you don't know it, you see again and it will stay on that heap. Is that vibe? You could also do the unit analysis. Physics people already know how incredibly important this is. So a unit analysis quiz on each formula. You see a formula you didn't know there. Impulse is slightly on the syllabus, but it already tested. Yeah. The formulas that take a while for me to get the formulas to be real nice like this. Anybody who know anything about this type of thing, no, is a pressure, is a C. The next thing that I could do with you all one time on Tuesday would be And this one is almost finished. My class is pretty good in this already, so this is going to be really just revision for you. Wait, go on, boy. Just now earlier. So coming soon. This is a coming soon here. This is coming soon. So this is the gas laws. A whole mind map of the gas laws. Remember, sometimes I was doing a past paper and I did this. Yeah. So we could go through like the foundation, the states of matter. It's kind of really zoomed out right now, but you could go through the states of matter. You see this? Not sure I had to make this. Gas, that kind of thing. So we can go through this and go do all the quizzes and stuff on this. And I would make one like this for moles for Friday or Saturday. Kinetic theory, how to get the marks in the exam. How you answer the exam question. Class, you all know about this question. How to memorize off this question. Kinetic theory. I know the kinetic theory is more heat, faster motion. And we'll get to play around with them thing. We get to play around with this as well. Which was my pride and joy to make. This was very hard to make. There's one of it in on FET, but I wanted to make it a little better. So we'll start to understand gas laws a little more when we have this. Add heat and whatnot, right? So we'll be going through that. As seen as you say organic chem. If you type organic chem right now on YouTube, you'll see a series I did on organic chem, and it is also peak. So go look up organic chem on right now after this and run through that whole series. I did it back in 2019, and I really break it down. It will help to mind map the whole of organic chem. So it's a whole playlist actually. Bio students need help too. You ain't seen bio there? But bio is not read and repeat subject. Bio, I don't remember studying much of bio, but it was just an easy distinction. But I know chem and physics is be a little thunder. But don't worry, my bio teacher could be watching this and she might message me. I'm not coming down on bio. All right, love and blessings, everybody. We outside. POA, that gonna be next week. Next week, I'll bring in some of the POA and POA teachers. And POA and POV teachers doesn't really be on this. I could probably talk to ADAP. Love and blessings earlier. Take it easy. I'm gonna keep me here whole night trying to talk about different subjects.